you said in Switzerland, how you perceive or how you listen to Ghanaian music. I would want to hear how you feel about Ghanaian music.
Like if we have like a more or less famous band coming and to travel, I mean, we do check out their stage performances before we put them on stage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Street is Watching. This is the Loud Lounge. My name is DJ Slim, and I'm being joined here by a wonderful lady and gentleman. Now, listen, this edition would follow a series of podcasts that will be talking about deep related entertainment, like industry stuff. So you have to keep it right here. First and foremost, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Street is Watching, like, and put on the bell notification so that you get notified every time we drop a content. I have Sina, I have Hisham, and I have my brother, the name they keep...
Manak.
Manak keeps, actually, they go off my head. Manak up in the building. Now we're looking at, I know this is one of the most talked about topics, inner circles, when it comes to entertainment in Ghana. How do you get your music to the international level? Now, we know for a fact that entertainment, or it has been a part of our industry, like music industry has been a part of us since the 80s, since the 70s, since the 50s. Charlie, go way back. But now, we are trying to break borders. We are trying to get our music into other lands. So how do we get there successfully? I have Sina and Hisham here. They have been working on international gigs for God knows how long, and they are here to help us get insight as to the expectation of how to get our music there onto international platforms and big festivals like the help me with the word?
Pfingsten.
Anyway, welcome to our studio first and foremost. How are you doing?
Where you go?
Yeah, I go. Thanks for having us here. I'm about to go, fly out of Ghana soon, so we don't have much time. So
yes,
thank you very much for the opportunity to talk to you.
I would have loved it if we had enough time to talk about most of the things. But then key thing, how do we get our music, or how do we get our artists on international platforms like yours, your international festivals like yours? And first and foremost, give us a background, a small background about Afro-Pfingsten.
It's a difficult word, I know. Yeah. Doesn't matter. You can just set it in a footnote so that people can read up on it.
Of course.
Usually we have a database where we gather information about our artists all over the world, and we check on them regularly. Then we go to showcase festivals and see showcases. I'm here now also to check on artists and just dig in a little bit. So that's what we basically do.
Okay, so it's more of a like cross platform where everybody can showcase their talent and
It really depends. I mean, as our festival is focused on African music, coming from the continent, but also from the diaspora. That means that could be, the genres are pretty different. So from contemporary music, jazz music, but and Afro classics as well as metal music. So
metal.
We're open to all genres. So which makes it pretty interesting to work on, but also difficult to find some artists.
Okay, so you're in Ghana right now to get to understand how the sounds are being produced. Hisham.
Well, yeah. Thanks for having us here. So, like, this trip to Ghana was mostly to understand where the sounds come from.
Okay.
So we, for example, either North Africa in Morocco or other northern countries, or in Europe or the West in general, or the whole over the world, you hear Afro pop songs and many Afro songs, and there are some melodies that are interesting and that are catchy, but there are so much meanings behind them, and also they have a source. They didn't just sprout out of nothing. They have a source. So for us to do good to the African music and to the African artists, we kind of came to the source to meet with the people and how those beats, how those melodies were created. And we were sure the kind of those sounds come from everyday life. So how the people live their life and the sounds they make, I think those sounds were taken and then developed. And that's why we're here, just to have
first-hand information on how it's done.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great.
No. also how we can create a setting to really put on the music on stage, or maybe in a different setting as well.
Okay. Yes. So so internationally, like when there's a festival, you will have the right settings for people to really get to understand and appreciate the craft, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Because it's a big topic, actually, cultural appropriation and cultural appreciation. So this question is big now in Europe. Okay. So we really have to take care of that.
Yeah. So for example, when we speak about this, for example, the environment of showcasing music here is not like the environment if you go to a festival in Europe. It will be a stage and people standing around like in front of you and you're performing. But here it's not done like that. You know, there are some rituals around it. So everyone is on the ground, people are around. Yes. So it gives like kind of like
more intimate,
more intimate. You're closer to the artist, you're one of it. So when you take also the same music that is here and it's really felt and you take it on stage, it doesn't really give the same
some
vibe.
form of disconnection, yeah.
So our mission also is to understand how music is done here, in what setting. So when it's done there, it's done in at least true to its originality, you know.
Enough said about that. Now, if you're looking to build an artist from this part of the world, that is Ghana, what are some of the things that you would expect the artist to be doing?
Do you have something to say, Manai?
Actually, thanks, DJ Slim, for actually giving us this opportunity. We really appreciate it. When it comes to artists that are supposed to groom themselves for the international market, one thing that we look out for is like those that are able to entertain audience. You know, you are going outside to perform. And the thing is that you are going to perform to people that does not even understand your language. So we need someone who can communicate with fans, communicate with audience.
Communication is key.
Communication is the key because most of the times, like when you give artists the platform and they come, they want to perform. Like sometimes I organize events, even in Ghana here, and I give them the opportunity to come and perform. They come, they just ask the DJ to drop their song. They'll be jumping, and when the song is ended, that is all. They don't even care whether the fan is enjoying, understand the song.
There's no form of communication.
There's no form of communication. But here we look at people that will be able to play with team. Like when you are playing with a band, how to interact with the band, how to perform with the band, like allow some of the instrumentalists, some of the players to also expose their talent because you are not the only artist over there.
Yeah, they're also artists.
You are the lead artist singing, but you have artists that are also playing with you. So we need someone who can actually allow himself to be a team player, one. And also someone who can actually interact with fans. Because if you cannot interact with the fans like here, you're actually doing your own thing. Singing song, you can sing the song that you love. You can sing your hit songs in Switzerland and nobody knows it.
They don't really care.
But in Ghana here, you drop the song, the fans will do it for you. But when you go to the foreign country, you need to explain what the song is about. Let them understand what message you have in the song. Then they can relate. Else, you will not do the right thing. So that is some of the things we look out for.
For the Western ears, well, I would be thinking that maybe for a festival, you would be interested in high tempo, high pitch. So
it really depends on the setting. As I said, we have different nights. We do like, for example, still a reggae night because people still love reggae, African reggae, but also from the Caribbean, Jamaica, and so on. There is maybe a more traditional Afro night that we call, because I don't like world music, because what is world music? That's just the same. It doesn't say anything about the music. So there's also urban nights with rap and hip hop. So it really depends on the evening, and this also makes the setting around. I mean, if you have world music musicians, then you oftentimes in Europe cater for a little bit older audience as well. So it's maybe mommy and daddy coming out with the children, with the entire family. So the pace might be different than for urban night.
So the urban nights are quite more hip
hop, rap stuff, or
up tempo,
electronic elements a lot. Exactly.
But there are nights where the traditional or the more or less the Ghanaian music or the Afrobeat would probably fit in there, right?
Yeah, but it fits everywhere. It's
fits
just
everywhere.
a matter of arrangements at the end as well. Yes.
Okay. Well, still logged down to Loud Lounge, and like I said earlier on, just check into the comment section. You see the name of the festival. We also put links to some of the videos from your various events in there for you guys to check it out and see how big it is. And we're finding ways for us to bridge, find a cool way to have a connection whereby artists from this side can have, information and intel on how music is done and received on the other side. And like you said in Switzerland, how you perceive or how you listen to Ghanaian music. I would want to hear how you feel about Ghanaian music.
Well, it's actually, for me, it might be different because I used to live in Cameroon, so I'm more familiar with African music in general. But I can say, like, the audience maybe in Switzerland that is not familiar with the music, for them sometimes it's hard to get the different rhythms and stuff. Okay. So sometimes they can't even tell if one piece has been finished and the other one has already started, because to them it's quite the same. So it seems to be a big chunk of music going on. So you just need to interact somehow and explain it to people.
Yeah, as Malak said, communication is key. So a way to show that a song has ended and the new one with the new meaning, new story is going to start, even though it might be as fast as the same, but there are two different things,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it would be best if an artist is built for a festival. The artist needs to, and first and foremost, understand how the Western ears perceive or listen to our sound, and then find a way to just translate everything down, break it down, right?
They don't need to, but I think it's easier to interact and really get the space and create the space and an understanding. Yeah, I think. But then also that's on us then to give all that information if they want to. It's the same. I mean, usually when you do booking, you get in touch with the management or sometimes also the artists themselves, and then you try to interact and explain maybe what you're doing. Like for us, we have a festival rider that we send out when we do booking inquiries. Sometimes we get, of course, a lot of offers that we check on and reply, but then also we have some things in mind and we check on the artists directly and we send them the festival rider so they know a little bit what this is all about.
Okay. But what are some of the challenges that, because as we want to find out what works for you, we want to find out because you've been doing it for how many years now?
Oh, quite some time.
Quite some time. Okay, so you've dealt with artists from Ghana before.
Yes.
What are some of the challenges that you've come across dealing with artists from Ghana?
From Ghana, well, it's hard to say if it has been like. I don't like to pick out one country, but I mean, most of the time. Artists or the management doesn't realize that we need, for example, promo material.
Okay.
Just to get the word out.
Promo material.
Yeah. So that means when we agree on a contract, we send them our media guidelines. So they hand it in and we need them to give us the material. So we can't really go and look it up on the internet and just take random pictures.
Why can't you do that?
Due to data protection law.
You can't pick my picture. You've booked me for a show. You've paid me. You can't take my
I'm not going to pay you before you give me the promo material.
That's it.
That's it.
You cannot promote the artist before getting the consent. And like,
I need to give you consent to use my picture before.
Yes, exactly. Even though we will book you or we will do anything with you.
You don't know what
it should be there. It's important. That's how you communicate.
You don't know how it's done over here.
I mean,
they'll go and take your picture and even give you mustache.
Sometimes actually it gets more funnier with local down here in Ghana. When the artist himself will be like, "Oh, you go on socials and choose any pictures."
Choose the one that you want. It can't be done that way over there.
No, we can't do that. So there are like media guidelines, and we give them, and then we ask back, and then we ask for maybe a prepayment invoice, and tell them we will settle the invoice once we get the promo material.
Because it's hard getting is it that hard getting promo material?
You always have to follow up quite often. Yeah.
Okay, so apart from, let's say, pictures, what else do you look out for, like a promo pack? What are some of the things involved apart from pictures? Maybe short bio.
Yeah, exactly. Bios and links to videos that we can use, and then also like before
maybe an endorsement video.
Yeah, and then also like we like them to do shout out videos that we can spread them.
Okay.
And we usually put them into our artwork and give it back to them and ask if it's okay to use it. If we don't get an answer, then we just use it. We just tell them usually, give us a feedback until the end of the week. If you don't give us the feedback, we'll just be using it because we know most of the time
you put a deadline. That's how you kind of protect yourself and also the artist. You say, for example, in 2 weeks at this date, if you don't reply, we will use this.
Okay, so that makes you, that puts you in a more comfortable position, right?
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, at least you sent something, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh man.
But sometimes what causes all these things is like the knowledge about the music business.
Yes.
Definitely. Most of the artists, like, they don't understand the work of an artist, and they don't understand the work of a manager.
Yeah.
When they even have managers, they try to act as managers themselves. Sometimes the artist is trying to play multiple roles.
Yeah.
So he's doing mistakes without knowing.
Yeah.
I'm having several challenges like that. Sometimes to the manager, it's also trying to do some selfish interest, and it's also affecting the artist. Like, it is very easy that I'm booking you for a program, so give me promo materials. Let me use to promote the program that you are coming to perform.
Yeah.
Like, even in Ghana here, you book an artist, you give him the flyer, he will not post the flyer, he will not post the content. And the day for the event, he will come and post the flyer, meet you there. The one thing that I hate, who are you going to meet? You didn't advertise the event. You didn't promote the program. Then you come and post, meet you there. Like, there's nobody to meet. They don't see the need to promote events when you put them on the event.
Okay. So is that something that you require? Is that something that you require the artists to be posting and advertising the events?
Yeah, because they need to know, for example, in Switzerland, we don't have a big Ghanaian community. So, I mean, of course, maybe Ghanaian, they would know their artists, but the rest in Switzerland, they don't know. They don't even know the music. So you need to get the word out.
Constantly put
for them
there,
to buy tickets. Otherwise, you're not going to sell tickets, and it's no fun to perform in front of an empty hall.
School me a little bit on this one, right? How best is, if you want to reach a Ghanaian artist and their team, what's the best way to do it? Through email or phone calls or text? Give me the juice.
To be honest, I usually try it first by email because I like to have it written down. I have
video
so many
calling.
Video call.
Yeah, or come to Ghana and catch them.
Yes.
Yeah. Like usually I really try to do it via email just to have it written down, and I can just access all the information. But then usually it quickly goes over to WhatsApp and phone calls. But still, what I try to do when I get like nasty long voicemails, that I write it down, just send it by email again to confirm, so it's written down and we have a history.
Yeah.
Okay. But so far, all the artists or most of the artists that you built for most of your festivals, how have they comported themselves? I say this because there's been several incidents of, artists being booked for international shows, and they get there and you see that they're too excited, or for want of a better word, let me just use too excited, they tend to mess up their set.
Yeah, I mean, actually, that happened just last year. We had a show booked, and I'm not gonna say which artist, but the band was obviously from Ghana, and actually the lead singer didn't show up, and like 20 minutes before the gig, I also need to admit that my team didn't realize that the lead singer wasn't there because they couldn't recognize the face and they didn't count the people. So, maybe they figured it was maybe the tour manager missing or the sound engineer, or just one other member.
Wow.
So also my team, they didn't realize, and then only 20 minutes before, it was like the lead singer is not here, but the drummer will sing. Luckily, they're not too famous in Switzerland, so no one really realized that he wasn't there. And apparently he had some visa issues, and that happens quite often, that people don't get the visas, and that's why we try to really book beforehand, so we have enough time to cater for their needs.
Yeah. So also, like, for artists moving around the globe, for us like Africans or the people of the South, it's really not easy to get through the bureaucracy and visa papers to go perform somewhere. Yeah. So as she said, we always push to start before, at least 8 months before.
Okay.
Because you know how things work.
Yes.
The
system is quite slow a bit.
Yes. Yeah. So we consider that. And also this is how we facilitate the artist movement in the world as a festival. You know what the artists suffer from, and this visa issue is everywhere. So you're aware what they face. So you as a European festival, you take a further step and you take care of them coming here on time and performing, and also in other places if possible, and then they're happy and satisfied, and they can go back to their country, talk about their experience, and actually put back value to the industry and build it. And that's how we do it. We always push forward and help artists in this matter, because as we know, so many times if you can't come, the festival just takes their hands up and they say sorry. But this sucks for us and for the artists and for the industry,
because it's a big platform for you to sell the music.
Yes.
As much as we're looking at some of the artists, I mean the downside. I mean, how successful have Ghanaian artists performed on your stage, and how innovative have they been on your stage so far?
Want to go about Ghanaian artists?
Okay, when it comes to like the Ghanaian artists, for instance, I really like the energy. We have the talent, like the attitude is there. Most of the times it's the only challenge is when it comes to the audience. But with performance, I feel like we are top notch. We have the energy. Ghanaian artists, any Ghanaian artist I'll put anywhere, I'm actually proud putting them there, because they will do the best. Because when it comes to the performances, they're good with their vocals, with their like skills. Like when it comes to like with their team, they know what they're doing. But the only challenge is sometimes interacting with the audience
and getting them to understand the song fully.
Most of the times they do the best, I think.
There's one part of, since we're looking at bridging the gap, we're looking at getting artists from Ghana onto your festival platforms. There's one key thing that keeps popping up, and it has been one solid point every time artists travel, and then they get to carry members that are not supposed to be a part of the team abroad. And it's been one of the, because I've worked with a couple of events outside, and I know they seriously would want to make sure that they carry the right type of people along. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I get you.
Yes.
One thing that I would advise, all right, whilst we are doing this music business, it's actually not giving a good image about our brand. We Ghanaians, like most of the times, you book an artist for a show, and is coming with like a 10 band or 10-man band. Then
he shows up with like 15 people.
He will shows up with like 15 people. Sometimes even the 10 band you're giving them, the artist will sell 5 of his seats. Then he will bring 5 people that are going to play.
No idea.
They don't have any business over there. And the mirage here is that people in Ghana feels like it is all good out there, so they want to travel to have the green pastures. It is not like that. The challenges we go through in Ghana here, it is the same challenges you go through in Switzerland. It's sometimes worse in Morocco. It's sometimes worse somewhere else. If you cannot make it down here, don't sit home and feel like you'll make it in Switzerland. It is negative. It is not the right thing.
It's just about
it's just a mirage, some kind of fantasy you have in your head that if you get abroad, you can do it. Whatever you're doing here, get a team, get people, and be a team player, and make sure that you are doing the right thing. Ask questions, try to learn and unlearn. Because most of the artists, sometimes they go and even coming back, like you are going to play a show, you are done with the show, your flight return is like 2 weeks after. Then the artist is trying to find means not to come. You want to stay and work and do stuff, which is not the business or the reason why we are traveling. So sometimes, like even recommending artists, you get scared because some of them, they have that fantasy that when they get abroad,
they are not coming back again.
Or they are not coming back.
That?
Yeah. To be honest,
it's a hard question. I know.
I have some different sides maybe to share. Like one, if we have like a more or less famous band coming and to travel, I mean, we do check out their stage performances before we put them on stage. So that is obviously something, and they need to give us, when we write the contract, the names of the people traveling and tell us what they do. And then it also goes back to the money, obviously, because there's a performance fee, and we give them a performance fee, obviously, but I mean, they need to cater with the performance fee for their travel expenses. So if you take 15 people and you have agreed on that performance fee, you figure it out yourself, right?
Okay.
But what we do, we get the list of people because we need to know for the hotel, for example, and we need oftentimes to write invitation letters. So, and if there is like someone on the list that I haven't seen on a stage before when I checked up on videos, then I would clearly ask back. So why usually you travel it five?
Secure that guy. Print it and secure that guy.
I would
Who is this?
actually say, well, usually you perform with five guys on stage. So now why are you putting 10? I can see that you have a tour manager. I can see maybe that you have a sound engineer or a light engineer, stuff like that. But then if there are like 10 people, I usually ask back, and then I need to hand out invitation letters. And of course, I mean, that's obviously one of the problems that if you get an artist visa to travel in Europe, that the immigration fears that you just disappear and not going back.
That's one of the things.
Open borders, I would say. Then we don't have to fear that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sure our viewers would want to check out subsequent editions of this podcast, because we'll be touching on more industry issues, looking at how to get the sound right, how to get your sound right to meet the international standard, because we need to make sure that we're playing on an international level, right? Because I believe there's not like local standard, there's not like local standard and international standard. There is the standard. Right, the standard. So how do we play by the standard? So we'll have expert joining us on our subsequent editions, and we'll get to figure out how we can just merge the two worlds and find out issues going on over in Switzerland, issues going on in Morocco, issues going on in Ghana, and how best we can. Probably maybe there are issues going on in Ghana. You guys have dealt with it. You've overcome them. You had certain structures that were able to get you past that. What are some of the things that we can also apply here, and maybe some of the stuff that you're going through, maybe we can also chip in an idea or two. So make sure you clip it right here. Street is watching. And Charlie, when our time catch, my senior has to leave right now, else you will miss in flight. But clip it right here. We have more for you. Just like and subscribe to this YouTube channel and just put on the bell notification. Anytime we drop a content, you will get notified wherever you are. My name is DJ Slim. Hey, have a great day.